If we look at the next certificate, which is part and parcel of a payment certificate, is what we refer to as the recovery statement. A recovery statement is basically a summary of all the items that is already included in your payment certificate. And basically here, the two items that we look at is the default interest as well as the compensatory interest. And there's the figure that we've calculated for the late payment on the previous certificate, and there's no compensatory interest in this particular case. So just a summary of the let's call it the sundry items that was included already in your main certificate. And then we've learned about the notification payment certificate to the nominated subcontracts. So in this case, there was only one nominated subcontract, which is your electrical. Still, certificate 9, the interim certificate, the same dates for the issue. If we look at the detail, you'll see that the detail here, your main contractor, and then there we've got the actual nominated subcontractor listed as Sparky Electrical Contractor, and that is the nominated subcontractor. Obviously, when we talk about the subcontractor in this case, it's the nominated subcontractors. We're not going to issue notifications to your domestic. I'm not going to issue to the plumber or the painter. It's only the nominated subcontractors that will be notified of payment. So again, here you'll see the 4 columns, and it's now related to the electrical contract. So if we look at contract, the contract sum, so that was the original contract sum. That was the estimated value for escalation, and then obviously add your tax or VAT 15% to get to the adjusted contract sum of 437. Same principle as we apply for the main contractor. Column B, which is the estimated or the anticipated final project cost or the contract value. Starting with your tender, there was in this case a forecast that there is going to be 15,000 extra on electrical work, and because of the 15,000, my escalation will also then increase slightly to cover the additional cost of 15,000 rand. So we can indicate to the employer that the electrical installation will roughly cost, at the end of the day, 460,000 rand. Then the actual certificate, which is now column C and D. So up till certificate 9, as a quantity surveyor, I will contact the electrical engineer and said, I'm preparing certificate 9. Could you provide me with the figure for payment certificate 9? And that figure of 310 will be provided by the electrical engineer. So the engineer will also do his calculations, and he will inform the quantity surveyor that he can certify 310,000 rand for electrical installation. There was also no materials for electrical at this point in time. The escalation for electrical at this point in time, if we go back to your escalation certificate, there's your 26,139 for the electrical installation. So that gives me then a total, if we add up the total or value of work done plus escalation, that will give me now a figure of 336,000 odd rand. Less the previous. Now we can actually get that total from the escalation. If we go to the escalation, how did we get to that 293,000? If we go to that's previously. Now, if we look at the 270, that's straight calculation. If we look at the 270, which is certificate 8, there's certificate 9, current, less certificate 8. So the previously was the total value work done, and the 23,000 rand was the escalation on that. So if we take the 270,000 plus the 23,000, that will give me my 293,000 rand for the previous total certified. You can go back to your main certificate and also check that previous total that was certified. So it's the accumulative total less the amount previously certified will give you 43,139 Rand plus the VAT on that 15%. So the electrical contractor would expect a check value of 49,610 odd Rand. So in this case, the variable guarantee was selected. If we do the same calculation of 88.5%, you'll see the formula there, D8, the value of D8, which is now column D8. Column D8, the value of D8 divided by a 10 gives you, and times by 100 to give you a percentage of 88.5. We haven't reached practical completion, neither final completion, so we don't tick off that box. The next certificate, the payment advice, is basically almost a repeat of the notification. I'm not going to spend much time on that, on the specific payment advice. You can run through it. You'll see that the figures are the same. So that is basically just in a nutshell, a compilation of a payment certificate. Obviously, there is quite a lot of work involved to get to the actual value of work done, but that is basically our main components of a payment certificate. We will focus on the JBCC payment certificate, the recovery statement, and in the notification, nominated subcontractors payment and notification. So in this case, there was only one subcontract, the electrical. If there was, let's say, mechanical engineering work such as air conditioning, you would have also issue a payment notification to the air conditioning subcontractor. Good. That brings me to the end of this explanation of a typical example of a payment certificate. Our next session, we will then look at an exercise in preparing and compiling a payment certificate. Until then, keep well.